get started right away, as I say on YouTube. Now, two tabs. The first tab, I will have a view tab, and the second tab will have a calculation tab where magic happens, and view is just that type of dashboard visualization. So what do I have in these tabs? First tab, view tab. So here I allow the user, well, let's call them users. I'll allow the user to input a date, any date, here where they want to track the month of. You know, I made it hard myself. I could just have asked them to input the first month, but here I just ask them to put any date. So for instance, here 10th of July means that I want to track the month of July. And so this is just an input. There is nothing to check. The second cell is now. So now it's an Excel function. If you don't know it, it's called today and with empty bracket. So I just put today and empty bracket here as a formula. And I'm calling this cell today without the bracket this time. So that's it. So I have the today's date and the month that I want to track. Now I select when the week starts. I know I have a few viewers from the States. They start the week on Sunday. I'm not judging, but here in Australia we started on Monday. It makes more sense in my view, but I'm sure it makes sense. It makes sense for you guys to study on Sunday. So it's usually Sunday or Monday. So I'm just doing a nasty selection here. If you don't know how to do it, you go into data validation, and you put a list, and somewhere you just put those two. I could have hard-coded them. I could have just put Sunday and Monday, but here I refer to these two cells here. So now I can select something between those two cells. So this is for my first tab. There'll be more things, obviously, but that gets us started. Now the second tab, it's a calculation tab. So all that will be hidden. And here there's just some text where I remind people that Sunday is 1 in Excel language and Monday is 2 in Excel language. I mean the weekday is 2. So Microsoft is American, so for them they have the Sunday as 1. But what about all the other countries who start the week on Monday? Okay, so it's a 2. So here, as I was saying, I made it hard to myself, the first day of the chosen month. So here I have to pedal back from that date here, 10th of July. I have to reverse engineer it and just convert that into the first day of the month. So how do I do this? If you don't know the function, it's a function called date. And what do you do with this function? You just put the year, the month, and then the day. So here what I do is I go back here. In a year, I take the year of this. In a month, I take the year of the month of this. And then as a day, I put 1. Year, month, 1. So here, that puts it back to the first day of the month. Done. Now, I need the weekday or the first day of that chosen month because I want to build my calendar around that. So here, easy, I do the weekday of the field above. So the weekday, so we know that the first day of July is a Monday. Here it's 2. That will be used to build the calendar. And the month, it's the month. So here function was weekday, and now the function is called month. That's very easy. You put the month here. And this is the selection list that we had before. So now that we have this, what do we do? Now we continue. So here, what I need to do first is I need to define which day should start based on the Sunday-Monday selection. So if we start on a Sunday, I put 1 here. And if we start on a Monday, I will put 2 here. So this is telling me that the week should start with the 1, with a weekday of 1. So this is the starting point. Now the second thing I want to do is I want to start building the month. So here I'll be building a calendar. This calendar will be used in the other tab here. You'll see that will make things much easier to build a calendar on a different tab and then refer to this calendar on the other tab. So let's forget about the month at the top. What I want to do here, and this is where we need to concentrate, please. Now this is where we need to concentrate. This is the formula that I am using to build this calendar. So this is only valid for the first line. After, I will just be adding 1 here. So well, I check if I check if the first day of the month is, if we are on the first day of the month, if we start a Sunday. And then what I do is I will just add 1 unless there is nothing on the left-hand side. So I'll let you a bit of time to have a look at this if you want to have a look. But I'm just checking if the first day of the month is one of those. Like for instance, here, the first day of the month is a Monday. So I will check the weekday here. If it's a 2, I will start my counting here, and then I will go all over here. In order to do this, here I just add all the, I mentioned add 1 to this, but if here it starts a 2 here, I want to make sure that I don't go all the way up to 8. I remove 1 here. I remove 1 here. If it's if I reached 7, then it will be back to 1. Okay, so here I've built this. I build one calendar here. So here what I'm doing is I'm referring to one day that is below. I'm just being lazy, the second line. Once again here, so here it's, and I will be doing the same for every component here. At the top, I'm referring to a date that is here. Same, those are dates. Those are not text. It's just a matter of formatting the date with 3D. So here that will spell out the weekday. Okay, so this is it. So we've built this, we built the first thing, and the reason why I'm going under 6 is there is the scenario where the first day of the month is a Saturday, for instance, in this case, and then I will need this line here. But here we are already in a following month, which is okay, which I will deal with later on. So this is where I had to decide when I want to build all the calendars here. I had a choice. Do I want to make, to do a very complicated conditional formatting that I will need to copy for every calendar that I will build here, making sure that I make no mistakes and with formulas in a conditional formatting? Or do I make my life easier by just duplicating this, and then the formula will follow in a conditional formatting will follow? And that was an easy decision. So that looks a bit massive, but I make things much, much easier down the track. So how do I do this? So here I have my first calendar. What I do is I leave 3 cells at the bottom and 1 on the right. And then what do? I just duplicate this. And I'm just going to show you how I've done it. I just duplicate it by just referring to that cell here. So here I'm just duplicating exactly the same thing. It seems brutal, but I tell you what, makes things much easier down the track. And here I just, when I've done one, it's just a matter of copying and pasting. Paste, paste. And then I do the same below, and I left 3 here, and that's what I've done. So it looks a bit massive, but I just need to make sure that I have 6, and I have the same amount, 3, 5, 6. And here, for instance, I have 1, 2, 3. I have 1 in between. So here I have a lot. So I have 16 calendars here. Now on the other tab, I will just do conditional formatting based on those. So you'll see that will make more sense in a minute. Now this is the calendar. This is what I've created on the other tab. Remember, so there was a tab here that would be calculation. I can hide all this down the track using this. And then now this is what I have built. So here I just refer back to, just for the top line here, I just refer back to the calculation here where I've calculated everything. I just refer back to that cell here. And then I just copy everything. I just need to refer the first one after I copy and paste all this, and I will give me all that. And remember, same rule needs to apply. I need to put 1 cell in between, and I need to have 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1 cell under the other, 3, so I have 6 and 1, 2, 3. So here I've left that one quite small. That's because I want to have this gap here a bit smaller. So this is it. So you create all those headings by doing some massively brutal copy and paste, and then you duplicate all this, and then you have 16 here. As far as colors is concerned, I am using the page layout here, the Office one, and I'm having some relatively strong colors for each, so let's have a look. I'm using the one at the top here, I believe, so quite strong usually, but that doesn't mean that it has to be strong. As I mentioned, you can go in the page layout, and for instance, you go to the median one that usually gives you pastel colors. In this case, doesn't really work because it's a bit it's a bit of maroon, if you like maroon, but here, for instance, that's nice. The blue ones are usually quite good. If you want something a little bit more subtle, blue 2 if you don't like the blue 1, or you just go to the blue green here. This one is actually not bad. Now, this is for the look. I'm just going to go back to the Office. So, and what about this? You might be wondering. Well, this is where all the beauty of having created all this comes into play, because this is the ugly part. People don't need to see it, but this is your month. So the months start on a Monday here. Now, before I jumped into this, I just wanted to show you that if you swap here Sunday to Monday, you go back here, and everything is back to Monday, and the first day of the month was a Monday. So here, this is go back everything on the left-hand side. Here, the same thing. Now, if I leave it to the Monday for the time being, let's have a look on how we created this. So here, we need to make sure that we select the 6 here, the 6 that I mentioned, and obviously 7 for the width, and we go under the conditional formatting here. So I just have a few here. Let's just ignore the first one for the time being. Now, let's just ignore the second one too. Let's have a look at this one. What do I do? Here, it's quite simple, and I've actually, the chosen month here, I have a field called the chosen month. I don't think I mentioned that, but the chosen month here, I've called it the chosen month. I've called that cell the chosen month. If you don't know how to do it, you just tap it in here, and then you press enter twice. And so therefore here, the chosen month is 7. So if I go back here in my conditional formatting and manage the rules, and I go back here, and it's quite simple now. I just need to check if the cell that I'm in, so the top left, that's the cell that I'm in, but I will apply for the whole grid here. I just check if the month is the same as the chosen month. But I'm not looking at this cell here. I'm looking at actually the cell G14, which is here. I think this is the part to understand. If you understand that, you know how to build this, no problem. Here I'm referring to that, to format that cell, I'm referring to this cell here. And to format that cell, the second one, I'm referring to that cell here. And this is the beauty of it, is I can just check if that cell here, if the month of that cell is the same month as the chosen month. So if we just run through this, it's going to have, okay, yes, I'm in the same month, because remember there's our dates behind this. This is the 30th of July. Am I in the same month? Yes. 31st, am I in the same month? Yes. And here I'm the 1st of August. So it's going to check, is the 1st of August month the same as July? You know the answer, it's no. So here this is a big fat no. And therefore here, the conditional formatting will tell me, no, I've changed month here. So I'm not applying the formatting. And what was the formatting? The formatting was a brutal, massive putting border around it. Okay. Now this is for the first one. Now what I wanted to do, I don't think I mentioned that. I want to show everything that is in the past as light green. Why light green? Why not? Everything that is in the past is light green here. So I'm just going to remove this. This is a bit distracting. So everything that is in the past. So here I am I am at this point in time here. So everything that is before. Sorry, here I'm on a Monday. So I just gray out, quote unquote, or green out everything that is before today. So I know this is in the past, and here is my date. Here is today. How do I do this? Remember, we've created that cell here. We called it today. So here I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do a conditional formatting. I'm going to go to manage rule, and here I'm going to check if it's the date is smaller than today. Yes, I'm going to put this green here. If the cell is smaller than today, and remember the cell is this one. I don't need to say it every time now. It's this one, smaller than today here. So you need to have obviously the same month here as 2 days as the month, current month, otherwise that's going to mess up, and that's going to put everything in green, which makes sense. Okay, so we have, I mean, some of you might prefer putting it back in gray, what is in the past, so there's no problem here. And remember, when we go through this, we have a different, let's go back to blue. That might be a little bit more professional looking. Okay, but for demos, I like to use the Office because it's all bright, make things a little bit clearer. So where are we at now? Okay, we have created this. Now, before I go and create the other ones, I want to add the last thing. The last thing, if you've seen my other videos, there's several ways to be able to tick until Excel gives you actually a tick function. Here what I do is I allow for everything that is not blank, that is not equal to nothing, to turn to green when I type. And then obviously it's up to you. If you want to do it in the future, you can, if you're really sure, but I don't advise it. We are doing some serious habit tracking here. So everything I put, let's say I put 1, I put 2, everything I put will change the color of that cell. So how do we do this? Same conditional formatting. Conditional formatting. That's a genius part of Excel. You can format cells based on the numbers or what's in it for that matter. Okay, so here let's see how the genius that we have done here. So here this time we don't refer to the other calendar here. We refer to this one here. Is there anything in here that is not equal to nothing? And if it's not equal to nothing, you do a format. You put the font also the same green, so this way you don't see the 1 or the 2 or whatever you've put in. If you want, I mean, you might have some interest. Actually, this is something you could do. You could put the color in white. Actually, that's a good idea. So you put the color in white. You center all this, and then let's say if you want to track how many you've done on something, you can put it there. And then let's say here I have nothing, and then I progress. Here I have 1, here I have 2. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that's not bad. But for this one, I've decided not to do any totals, any charts and the likes. I just wanted to keep it extremely simple. So it's up to you, but if you don't want to see what you have done, then you are better off putting something else. But I'm putting the font in the same green as the background green. Now, actually, I'm just going to put blank. This way everybody's happy. Okay. So that is done. But now you might be thinking, oh, do I have to do all this for all of those? And this is where the beauty of having all this will come into play. All the hard work up front is going to pay off, because you just need to do this. You double click on the format painter, and if you are been following the rules of just leaving 1 here and 3 at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, then that should work. So you just go here, bing, bing, bing. Isn't it beautiful? And of course you don't see the ones that you have ticked, because this is a different habit now. You cannot just assume that you have also followed this habit. So what I've done here, so here this is good, but I didn't leave a lot of room. Okay. So I found that very easy. They all have the same conditional formatting. You take a random one here, conditional formatting, manage rules, and it refers to the other field, obviously to the G14, which is our first one at the top here. But as it's located here, it would have followed it up, and it would just refer to that one. So this is good. Now let's check if yes, it works. I should check before I say let's check. So here and here you still have the white ones. So this is quite good. I'm happy with this. So here now it's done. It's a bit of an anticlimax. You think you're going to have to work hard, and you just press buttons and it's done. So obviously here I'm stuck with fitness. What else can self-dev, anything. And you just need to copy and paste. If you want more, you know what to do. You just have to copy and paste this. So there's a mirror image for that one. You cannot just copy this without copying the other one. I think you probably got that by the time being. So isn't it beautiful? I really like it. It's probably biased, but I think this is good. So now for fine-tuning. Data group. If you don't want to see what's on top, you might want to put the month here. Let me just. Okay, so hang on. I could just put a big massive cell here. I could merge all this. Merchant center, and here what do I put? Put the date, 𝙤𝙪𝙚𝙚. I put the date here, and here I just could put it at the center like this, and I do a formatting. The trick that we've done before. I do the formatting. And what do I want to do? I want to show only the month. Say, if I put 3 times the month, that's not sufficient. And I want to put the year as well. Okay. Go. That's it. Now I want to have some blue, white, whatever that is. Now if you want to hide this, you can. You just create a group with all those cells, and then you put data group, and then you can hide it this way. So this way you only have the month. Obviously this you can bring it up, and that's it. Now we talked about this. Now, if you're courageous enough to have a macro in your spreadsheet, that would mean a couple of things. That would mean that you would need to back it up into a different type of format. But to save you having to clear everything off, delete, you could create a macro and allocate it to that box here. So how did I create this? Insert a text box, for instance, and then I've created it this way. But what you can do also, if you don't have the squares, if you think Excel has enough square as it is, you could insert a picture. Yeah, that's an idea, or a shape, or even an icon, and allocate the macro to it. Just going to put an icon. What type of icon could I put for clearing? Just chess icon. If I put clear, rubber doesn't really help. I'm just going to stick to the shape here. Put a shape here that is round. So that's the way you do it. And you put some you double click, put some text in it, and that's it. So this is exactly what I've done here. And I went super fancy. I did a shape fill, and I went for the gradient. So here you go. So now you know exactly how I've done it. Now that is interesting, but I want to know how to put in a macro. So what you do is you have 2 options to create a macro. You go under the developer, and you roll up your sleeve, and you create a Visual Basic function. But that's really the hard way. What you can do instead is to record it. So you press here, you press the little icon here, macro recording. You name your macro, and I'm going to call it clear. So you cannot put any strange characters. It has to be clear, clear month. I'll just put it clear month. And then now it's recording. And I'm just going to select all this, and I'm going to clear it. I'm going to select all this, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to clear it. I'm going to there's a message at the top. We'll have a look at this, and I'm going to clear it. and then I go back here, and here there's a stop button, and I stop it. Okay. Now, yes, so he's saying me, yes, he's starting to have a feed here, must be in a macro-enabled workbook. So here he wants me to rename it. So what I do is I go here, and I need to make sure that this time I put a macro-enabled workbook here. So this is not a workbook, this is a macro-enabled workbook. So it's okay to use on your own, but if you start to share it, I think Microsoft's starting to have a feed, and because in a macro you could have something that is vicious, that you can delete stuff, you can grab stuff, you can do a lot of things with macro. So that's why Microsoft is very cautious of alerting you when there is a macro somewhere. So if you want to share it with someone else, then that person will have to give full authority to that Excel. And this is why I'm selling templates, and when I sell them, I don't put macros, because it's just such a kind of worms. Now I've created my macro. So I go back to the text box that I've created earlier, and I put assign macro here. And here I have macro name, and I select my clear month that I had before. So now, when I put my cursor on it, there is a hand showing here. So that means that something's going to happen if I click. Now, what is going to happen when I click? Let's have a look. So first, let's just imagine that we went through a month. I went through a month here. Habit 7, habit 8, habit X. Okay, so I'll start a fresh month. It's clear it worked. This is live, guys, and it worked. Oh. So this is very good. You have your month. Select the first day of the month. You have now, you have today, you have all this here. You can hide all that if you want, but it doesn't really matter, because this is really a calculation thing. So it doesn't really matter. This, on the other hand, once it's done, month. So you coming in the morning and you start ticking your habits, and this is working the way it is now. Obviously, we have two types of blue here. Unfortunately, cells you cannot put gradient. So if you want to be consistent here, so now if I want to change the color of this, and I have to right-click on it, otherwise it's going to think that I want to run a macro again. So I'm just going back here. In the shape format, and here I'm just going to forget about the gradient, because I want to give it the same blue as this one, and I might as well give it the same font size. What do we have here? 1624. So this is done now. Now I hope you have fun doing it. I went quick on some stage, but you can pause and have a look. I think I went through everything. Sometimes it's true a little bit fast, especially, there's only one thing here that you need to put on pause on, is this formula here. This is really the one thing that you need to get right. Once you get this one right, and it's only on the first line, then everything is just the brutal copy and paste, and the conditional formatting, as mentioned, was done. So it makes things so much easier. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Hope you have fun with this.